The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name. For the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. All right, and I'm going to get right into it today. I'm just going to break down the verses to show you how easy it is to find the hidden formats. The Mighty One, our Creator YV. Oops, it looks like I already made an error there. As spoken. And summon the earth from the rising of the sun to its setting. Now, doesn't that sound like a flat world view? Out of Zion, and I've got Jerusalem here. I should mention that the word Zion is really the city Jerusalem in many verses. The Psalm 48 that I just went over, haven't posted yet, but it tells us the location of where Mount Zion is, and that is, it is the second heaven. Okay. The perfect of beauty, our Creator has shown forth. Many of our Creator well, we don't use the word may. Our Creator come and not be silent. Fires devour before him, and his very tempest around him. He summons the heavens above and the earth to judge his people. Gather my godly ones to me, and to those who have made a covenant, and those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The heavens declare his righteousness, for our Creator himself is judge. Hear, my people, and I will speak, Israel, and I'll testify against you. I'm your Creator, your Creator. Now that's what happens when you replace the title God with the correct title. I do not reprove you, and burnt offerings are continually before me. Now we know that statement isn't true. I will take no young bulls out of your house, nor male goats out of your folds. For every beast in the forest, for every beast in the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills. Well, I don't know about that one either. I know every bird. I know every bird of the mountains, and everything that moves in the field is mine. If I were hungry, would I not tell you? For the world is mine, and all it contains. I will eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of male goats. Offer to our Creator a sacrifice of thanksgiving, and pay your vows to the Most High. Call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will rescue you, and you will honor me. But to the wicked, our Creator says, what right have you to tell? What right have you to tell of my statutes, and to make my covenant in your mouth? For you hate discipline, and you cast my words behind you. When you see a thief, you are pleased with him, and you associate with adulterers. You let your mouth loose You let your mouth loose in evil, and your tongue frames deceit. You sit and speak against your brother. You slander your own mother's son. That would be his brother. These things you have done, and I have kept silent. You have thought that I was just like you. I will reprove you and state an order before your eyes. Now, when the text is this color, that means I'm using the 1977 text from the NSAB, and this was added words, and I've highlighted them to note that. If I use them, I just make them black, but I leave them metallic. Eyes before you. Now consider this. You who forgot God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there is none to deliver. He who offers a sacrifice of thanksgiving honors me, and to whom he orders I will show the salvation of our Creator. Okay, now that was the first time through, and you've seen as I'm scanning through here, I did find a couple 4-verse groups that just hooked together, a 3-verse groups, and that's what happens a lot of times. These are actually mixed together, so the formats will appear and the story will appear eventually. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to now go through it and do some fine-tuning to them. The Mighty One, our Creator, well, that almost sounds like a sentence. The Mighty One, our Creator, YHVH has spoken and summoned the earth. Well, it almost sounds like maybe this goes together, and that would make a 4-verse. Okay, out of Mount Zion. Look, Mount Zion is the second heaven, and that is when the star's motion creates this mountain, and our Creator lives above the North Star. So when they're using the word Zion sometimes without saying Mount Zion, they will also consider where Jerusalem, the hill that Jerusalem was built on, and they leveled off to build Jerusalem, the city of David. So Zion will be, is pretty much actually Jerusalem. So what I do is I'll say I'm going to remove that and I'm going to replace it with this word. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, our Creator has shown forth. Our Creator comes and not be silent. May our Creator, when our Creator comes, He will not keep silent and fire devours before Him. Well, right now we know that this is not a true statement. Is very tempest around Him. That is a false statement. He summons the heavens above and the earth. Now, when it says summons the heavens above, the third heaven is where the birds fly. The second heaven is the stars' motion creating this Mount Zion, and the first heaven is above the Mount Zion, North Star. So when he's got the words written here, whoever wrote these, says he summons the heavens above and the earth to judge the people. That's just wrong. I mean, there's the word summons, he summons. I have to get rid of those words. The heavens above. I want to say that really needs to be divided here, because it's the heavens above, not and earth, the earth. That is a true statement. They consider the surface of what you can see is the land. Underneath it is ground. So when they're talking about earth, they're talking about anything from the land up, or the land together completely, okay, with the water. The heavens above the earth to judge his people. Now, I'm reading up here where it says, our Creator came and not be silent to judge his people. Now, I would like to put that there and then get rid of this, because the heavens and earth, it just doesn't fit the text right now that I've got. As you can see, I got a 4-verse, I got a 3-verse. This could be a 3-verse. I could maybe have to put this to be 4th with this one. Together, this would have to be, I have to add the word to, so let me steal one from here, or the word to from that verse, and put it here. And to say that I'm adding it, I use that. Gather my godly ones. We cannot disrespect the title of the word God, so it has to be righteous ones. That means the most obedient ones to our Creator. Oops, this is supposed to be and what I do is when I'm replacing the word, like I said in the beginning, to me. You know, this, our Creator comes and will not be silent to judge his people. This would seem like it's talking about Jesus. Our Creator will come and not keep silent to judge his people. This would be like, I'm thinking Jesus, and this would be the people Israel. So I could probably substitute Israelis with that to judge, and that would be Jesus doing the judging. So I need to capitalize that and color it red. And it would have to be and to. And it's not his people, but it would be, gather my people would have to be his people. Gather his righteous ones. Now there's a text that now tells me that this is a comma and this verse is connected. But I need this period here. But these two are not needed. See how that verse connects together? To judge his people and to gather his righteous ones. His people, and then he's going to gather his righteous ones. I guess since they're good people, I should capitalize these letters here. and Jesus will gather them. So, okay. Now I need to go to this one. Those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, and the heavens declare his righteousness, for our Creator himself is judge. Now, here's this covenant is not a covenant. Our Creator starts out by promising Abraham, sorry. And this is the words that he's going to promise to him in Genesis 17:6, and he's changed his name from Abram to Abraham. And down here it says he will establish his covenant between them. Now it's talking about he will make nations of you or from you, and kings shall come forth from you. Now we know that Israel has tribes, okay? And then they're going to be, Saul is going to be the first king. There's judges first. Our Creator doesn't like kings, but then kings start appearing. So then the kings, there's many on both sides, because our Creator is going to divide the nation into two. He made his nation Israel, and then he's going to divide it into two. And then here comes the promise here in 18:18, and he's talking about to Abraham, surely you shall surely become a great and mighty nation. And that's the nation Israel that I was just telling you. But in him all the nations of the earth will be blessed. Well, this hymn is talking about Jesus right here, okay? And then we have kings, and he's going to be a king of all the nations of the earth will be blessed. Down here in 22:18, from your seed all nations of the earth shall be blessed. So again, he comes back and he says it again. So our Creator tells Abraham again. So the thing here is this blessing of all the nations. We don't understand that until Jesus tells us that. Well, wait a second. I'm thinking there's a verse that our Creator tells a prophet that he will receive peoples from among the nation or kingdoms. And that means outside the nation Israel. And that just tells me that he's going to gather the higher moral people from all the other nations, okay, and allow them into heaven. But that's where this covenant comes from, okay? The word covenant comes from. But it's not really a covenant. It's many promises that our Creator makes over time. So they're misusing the word covenant here. There is no covenant of sacrifice, all right? In fact, this writer doesn't seem to understand what a sacrifice is. For you that are just tuning in, you should understand also, it's very important what a sacrifice is. If you did not obey one of the 12 commandments that I showed you in the beginning of the video, you were to bring our Creator a sin offering, okay? And that offering is a ram or 2 pigeons, okay? Now, let's talk about the ram, because that's the most common one that is known. And what happens is that the father of the family will come and say that either him or his wife has not obeyed our Creator's commandment, one of the 12, and he will lay his hand on the head of the ram, and then he will tell them the priest which one. Then the priest will kill it. That's a sacrifice. But here it's then skinned, and then the muscles are removed. Okay, now the muscles are important because they're put on a plate, and then they're taken into that tribe's altar that is hung up on hooks, and then wood's brought over, and the priest will light it up and just burn it, okay? And you can see down here, they've got burnt offerings. Well, the thing here is it's a sin offering that's being burnt. So they're misusing what the understanding of this offering is, because the smoke is representing that to the male on the outside, that this burning of the offering is going to go up and disappear in the sky. The smoke is going to disappear. And then the priest will go in to the holy room and bow before our Creator. Then he'll shine from above the mercy seat, and he will speak to them and say whether he is forgiven or not forgiven. So a covenant by sacrifice, that is not true. It actually is a sacrifice to atone for your sin. So there has nothing to do with a covenant. Those who have made, so I can't have those words being used either. And heaven's declared his righteousness. We know, I can't. Now, what happens here, it says the heavens declare his righteousness. Jesus tells us there is no sign from the stars about him when he is approached by the astrologers. So the heavens declare his righteousness. I have to get rid of these words here. Declared his righteousness. For our Creator himself is judge, which doesn't make any sense right now. Hear my people, and I will speak. It has to be two. Now this, when I'm saying Israel, and this is a kind of a hint at what time this text was actually written, or this word was written, or these group of words. When Israel is a nation, what I do to show that in the text for the reader not to be confused, I do this where it's all capitalized and it's bold, because Israel is Jacob's name our Creator gave him. So this person is talking to the nation Israel. So that's how, when you read this word, you'll read it as his nation. Hear my people. I don't need the word and. Hear my people, I will speak to Israel, and I will testify against you. Now that is odd, because it sounds like this verse here is talking about who is writing the above. But when it says, I am your Creator, and making it testify against him, this can't be true. Our Creator, when a Creator sends a prophet to speak for him, we know that it's rather detailed about what he's going to tell them, and it's usually foretelling about Jesus coming and what's going to happen to the people as far as when the enemy comes against them. So I do not reprove you for your sacrifices and your burnt offerings. Well, this we know is wrong, because he asked for atonements to be atoned for your not obeying the 12 commandments are continually before me. And this is not true. They're to be forgiven. I am your Creator. I don't think this is our Creator speaking here. I will take no young bull out of your house, or no young goat, or no male goat out of your fold. Will take no young bull out of your field. Fields. Can't be house. That's just not the correct word. And it wasn't a bull. That's this would be like a cow, and the male cow would be a bull. So it has to be the word ram. And actually our Creator asked them for a 1-year-old ram. So it's not young. That would be a lamb is considered under 1 year. I will take no ram out of your field, or male goats out of your folds. Out of your herds. Out of your herd. Now, by doing this, I'm starting to change the text to be in mine. I don't like doing that. If it's making a sense of a story. Let me continue to see if this is going to be actually something I would keep, because we know it's not our Creator, and we always knows that this is not, maybe it does continue saying this story, but we've got a 3-verse here, and then a 3-verse, I don't see a 3-verse here, I see a 4-verse. For every beast of the field is mine, and every... See, now this is all referring to our Creator, and I don't see any of this as being needed because let me see, right here, I seen this when I read it, and I knew it was wrong, but if I were hungry, our Creator, you got to understand, our Creator doesn't need food, okay? For the simple fact that in the beginning, in the emptiness, our Creator hovered. So the emptiness in his existence, his existence and his darkness is all his. It's all him. And the text will tell us in Genesis, when I clean it up, it will say that he separated himself from darkness and he created heaven, another dimension of space and time. And people refer to heaven as the light that they've seen. We have many people witnessing this. Now, we have here our Creator existing, just is, and nothing else. So he doesn't need anything. He doesn't eat anything. So the thing here is I don't know what the pagans believed at that time, whether the Creator needed a blood sacrifice, but I know that even the Egyptians, when they killed something, they ate that. They roasted it and ate it. So that we learned in the Sinai, that they even danced around, had a great time after they sacrificed to their God. So this understanding of how our God, our Creator is going to eat from these sacrifices, I will eat no flesh from bulls, nor drink the blood of male goats. This is all going to be removed for that reason, okay? As well as the text up here that I've got started, because that just does not make any sense. Well, our Creator does not need food, okay? His existence is. We need food to sustain ourselves here on earth, but our Creator does not. So someone just tried to write a great big lie, okay? But I also want to have you note, is that it's a 4-verse, that there could be a 4-verse, could have been a 4-verse in here. So somebody who knew how to write like a Hebrew is trying to add these words in. Okay. Offer to our Creator a sacrifice of thanksgiving and pay your vows to the Most High. You cannot pay your vows. Okay. A vow is your promise to our Creator. You can't pay it. It's something that you must do. So this is just not correct. A sacrifice of thanksgiving. Now, there is, of all the meal offerings you hear about and all the other things that's junk. When our Creator in the Sinai made the tent for meeting, it was all about establishing a way to forgive sin. So any of this offering a sacrifice for Thanksgiving, that isn't really true. There is a sacrifice, a killing of a lamb, that is supposed to be a peace offering when they go into battle. Okay. And we learned that in Saul's time, and he actually made the offering before Samuel. And Samuel said, because you've done that, our Creator's not going to accept you as a king. Okay. And well, that's part of the reason, but Saul wasn't being obedient to our Creator. So this sacrifice of thanksgiving and pay your vows to the Most High and call upon me in the day of trouble and I will rescue you and you'll honor me. All this is, again, 4-verse format, but I can't accept it as being truthful. A sacrifice of thanksgiving, again, they don't understand what the sacrifice is, nor a peace offering. Offered to our Creator. So this is wrong. Pay your vows to the Most High. Why would he be speaking in third person about himself being the Most High? Okay. Or talking about Creator, and then use the word me later here. And I will rescue you and honor you. If it's an act of war, he's delivering people. He doesn't rescue, he delivers you. So this is just gone. But to the wicked, our Creator says, what right have you to tell of my statutes or take my covenant in your mouth? This is absolutely wrong. He wanted them to understand he was our Creator, and he wanted them to obey his statutes and his commandments, not his covenant, but his promises that he's made with the people of Israel. So all this, I have to say, this is just garbage. For you hate discipline and cast my words behind you. Now this would be talking about the wicked up here. Or is it something completely different and starting something new here? And that's what I got to decide here now, because a lot of this text I got rid of. There's very little up here to work with right now. But as I come down through here, for you hate discipline and you cast my words behind you. When you see a thief, you are pleased with him and you associate with adulterers. I'm not seeing this as being truthful. Why I'm saying that is because I've done many of these psalms before you, and you really have to be. You have to look over what I have found to say that how do these formats appear and become truthful. Is they must ring with truth and they must follow how they wrote. When you see a thief and are pleased with him, see, there's only one major word here. Usually there's a combination of words here. unless it's talking about the person like here, you and him. Okay, so this could be a verse with this verse, and you can see that these two are tied together, and you associate with adulterers. That is separate from this, like it's been added on. For you hate discipline and you cast my words behind you. Now, this doesn't sound like our Creator would be speaking here. So that would have to be changed. When you see a thief, you are pleased with him. Okay. And you associate with adulterers and let your mouth loose in evil. And then, because what I'm looking for is mouth and tongue, as to say this comma and then period, your tongue frames deceit. Well, your tongue is just deceitful, is what it would be. So you wouldn't have the word frames. And your tongue, from your tongue is deceit. Okay. And from, if you try to put in the shortest or small words first, it'll help you to figure out the words and how they other words need to be shaped. Like, I don't need the word frames. That's just you can tell that tongue and deceit go together, because your mouth loose in evil, you let your mouth loose in evil. That sentence has to be corrected to make sense. But these two, what I'm just trying to show is that they're connected. You sit and speak against your brother. You slander. You sit and speak against your brother, and you slander your own mother's son. Well, this is already being said. This would be a period, and then this is a repeat of what's going on. So I can't use this. You sit and speak against your brother. Now, this verse here could actually be moved up to above here to make a 3-verse format. Let's see, if I make that a 3-verse format, this one here, that might be possible yet. These things you have done, and I have kept silent, and you thought that I was just like you. Now that kind of reads as a group of 3 verses. I will reprove you and state, and I wouldn't say the case, I would state them, and we'd have to discuss the meaning of the them in order before your eyes. Now consider this, you who forgot God, lest I tear you in pieces and there's none to deliver. Now, this is what our Creator doesn't need to do. Our Creator is waiting for people to know that He is our Creator, and then your obedience to Him. The more obedience you have to Him, the more you realize that He's not joking around about the word forever in heaven or in hell. Okay? So this is not making sense. This is a lot of words that are, I would be making them my own, and I don't want to do that. I'm just seeing that this is not truthful. it's not following the story. As a story, you can see it's kind of chopped up. It does want to hook together sometimes, but I don't think it's being honestly said by our creator. I mean, there's too much of this junk within inside it that just, is he going to reprove you? Is he going to state them in order before your eyes? Is he personally going to come to you and do that? No. So that just needs to be removed. Now consider this: at least I tear you in pieces, and there is none to deliver. That isn't how our Creator operates. So he who offers a sacrifice and honors me. See, this here is all wrong. So what we have out of verse 50 is just going to be a small little piece of text that I'm not even sure is worth keeping. Because if I take this and I go down here and clean it up, say I want to clean this up. And what I do to right off the bat, I just bring this out and just erase them all at one time. And that's kind of why you see me using colors to get rid of things, is to the mighty one. Now this, if this is Jesus, I would have to say our mighty one, the king who's going to come to him from our creator, and that would have to be all capital letters, but added, from our creator, YV. And then this text here, he has spoken and summoned the earth from the right. This, you don't summon the earth. So we know that this is not needed. Our mighty one. And I'm going to put this in red text. And it has to be bold and all because it's our creator is talking about Jesus. So this knowledge only comes from our creator. Our mighty one from our creator YV. I know the promise is that he will send him to Jerusalem. So out of Jerusalem, our mighty one will shine forth. See, just like this, it has to be our king, not the word creator. Our king will come, and these would be all it's all coming from our creator, so I have to, but this has to be Jesus will come, and that keeps silent. I know that these are connecting together, so I might as well do this. Okay. To judge his people and to gather his righteous ones. These will be his possession. See, this is separating. This is like, hear my people, speak to Israel and testify against you. Hear my people as I speak to Israel. As I speak to Israel, I will testify against many. It has to be many. Because if he's talking to all Israel, he wants our attention, but many of them weren't all evil. So I have to put the word many here. And then you can see this 3 verses starting to do what all the 3 verses are. This is like a statement, and then these 2 back up what he's wanting them to listen to. So these 2, that's a good 3-verse format. I'm not sure if I'm going to need all this. Declaring. We know Jesus didn't do this quite as what the text is saying he will do, but you got to understand, they didn't know exactly what he was going to be like. We have words from Isaiah that tells us that he is going to be a very wise person. Okay. Let me get that up here real quick. Here are the 7 so-called spirits that are hard to find unless you actually realize there's 7, because you got to realize spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of strength, spirit of knowledge, and the spirit of the fear of our Creator. And he will delight in the fear of our Creator. Now, there's 7 spirits here, and this one here is when he gets baptized, and I will get into that at another time. But you can see at Isaiah's time, which is the last maybe 90 years before the Judah falls or sent into captivity, that they're told pretty much about Jesus a little bit more. And all that text is not a mighty king that's going to go around conquering everything. By declaring his righteousness, for our Creator himself will judge him. Well, okay, because when I'm looking for 3-verse setup, 3-verse settings here, it's like this verse should be above here, should be here. To judge, by declaring his righteousness, he will judge his people and gather his righteous ones. And then this word would be out of here. But that would be a 3-verse if I take that and put up there. This here verse is just now stuck out in the middle of nowhere. If I tried to make it a 4-verse, I would say this needs to say, for our Creator himself has judged him. But that isn't what's continuing. The story, how does it continue with this? I'm just seeing pieces. I'm not seeing a story here. And actually, you got to rely on my understanding of the text to actually make sense of what's being said here. Out of Jerusalem, our king will come, and that keeps on. See, this here, now this becomes like where that's the statement, out of Jerusalem, our Creator will come and not keep silent, to judge his people and gather his righteous ones by declaring his righteousness. Now, actually, this actually sounds like it should go together as a group, and like this becomes, oops, a group. And I'm trying to put 2 spaces, 1 space, 2 spaces. Here's the way I usually try to do it. So you can see that these two, even though they're small paragraphs now, how they kind of go together, not keep silent, and then it's telling us what he's going to do when he comes out of Jerusalem. Or this verse here, this looks like it needs to be moved up here in the top. And it would be like you're going to start your words by saying, "Hear my people, I will speak to Israeli." And it's not going to be Israel now. It's going to go back to Israel. And it's going to be Israelis. Hear my people as I speak to Israelis. Or I will testify against many. Okay. Oops. Hear my people as I speak to Israelis. Hear my people as I speak to. It's not Israelis. This is not reading like he's speaking to Israelis. He's saying my people. My people would be Israelis. Israelis are the good guys. Jews are the bad guys. Now, you can't go to a secular dictionary to find out what words mean. The best way I can say this is that when Judah was the last kingdom, they have words in the text that calls them Judeans, okay? And many of the Judeans, meaning Israelis and then non-believers, but this group together, they were starting to label as Judeans. But when you see the text all of a sudden where they're evil, they're against our Creator, they're going on to other gods, and don't believe that he's going to come, Jesus is going to come, they're called Jews. So the Judeans become Jews, but not all of them. Because the ones that he's sending into captivity are actually ones who are he judged as most obedient to him, and then their descendants would come back and live in Jerusalem, and then Jesus will come to them. So, hear my people. So, it has to be hear Israelis. This word here has to be up here, not just people, not people be people, but the ones who are onto our Creator are going to be Israelis. Okay? Jews are going to be the bad guys. There's many foreigners on the land too. So, as I speak to everyone, hear Israelis, as I speak, hear me. This has to be me. Hear me, Israelis, as I speak to, it would be our people. And this was where the word people would be. Hear me, Israelis, as I speak to our people, for I will testify against many. I think I got a rash on inside my eye. I just don't believe this. Can't believe what's going on here. I'm just itching my eyeball. Probably getting pretty red on camera. Our mighty one, speaking about Jesus, from our creator YV, will summon the earth. Now this, whoops, and get rid of that. This is Jesus speaking. That out will summon. It's not the earth. You can't call to the land. So we'll summon man, male and female being man here. Our mighty one, period, from our creator YV will summon man, and from out of Jerusalem, where's the word for that I've got already made up here? So I can say, for out of Jerusalem, our King will come and not keep silent, to judge his people and to gather his righteous ones by declaring his righteousness. And this now needs to be said, that it's going to go up to the top. It just too much that it needs to be placed at the top. And then I will make this all 8-point. And then copy this. Stick that out so everybody can see that. And say I moved it here. Moved here. Now, hear me, Israelis, as I speak to our people, for I will testify against many. Testify against many. And then he's not really testifying against them. I don't think that word is correct. He's not testifying to. So let me take a look at the concordance. Oh, it's verse 7 down here. And it doesn't even exist. What that means is that this would have been a word that they added in the 1611 translators did. What Strong's did was grab the most important Hebrew words to make sure that they weren't lost from everybody adding all little things around them. So the thing here is he did not see the word against, because that's a pretty big descriptive word there. So the thing here is we can say that word was added by the translators. And right now, I'm going to get rid of it. I will testify, for I'll testify, for I am testifying to you. Testifying to you. Now we have this being as words from a prophet. When I instantly did that, that just says prophet all over. For I am for I'm testifying, ing, to you. So here's a prophet whose words we don't know or from who, but he's testifying that he's been told that Jesus is coming, so from our Creator. And these are what he's saying. Hear me, Israelis, as I speak to our people, for I am testifying to you. Now, let me see. Did I move that verse up? Let me see. 7 up here. Did I just grab that? No, I didn't move any of the verses around. So, now this reads definitely like as if it, like those two now are together. These two are pretty much together now. So let me take this and clean it up again and see how I'm doing again, because it gets smoother as I'm going, if you notice. And there's actually a format here. So let me just hit that real quick. Hear me, Israelis, as I speak to our people, for I am testifying to you. Our mighty one from our Creator YHVH will summon man. Now this means, actually it means that he's hearing it from our Creator, and I've got to leave it as tilted, so I want to get rid of this. No color. Will summon man. And this is actually coming from our Creator, so I got to do this. But this is Jesus, is what he's going to do. For out of Jerusalem our King will come and not keep silent. So now, I know I was telling you before that most of the prophets did declare that he was coming to Jerusalem. This text is actually going to be one of those. So we have words from a prophet, and all these are going to be true. Even this one here needs to be from our, and not keep silent. Okay. This is what he's saying our Creator said to him. Out of Jerusalem our King will come and not keep silent. He will judge his people. I have to put the word he here. He will judge his people. So what I'm doing is saying all this needs to be said that our Creator said that. But I'm adding this, and this is red. He will judge his people. Well, I want to say to gather his righteous one. No, he was, and gather his righteous ones by declaring his righteousness. Okay, all these are going to be from our Creator again. And this word prophecy should be all capital letters, meaning it came from our Creator. Prophecy of Jesus. Now, even though it's a little piece out of nowhere, I'm really believing that when I get all done with all the Psalms and I start putting pieces together, this might fit right in there, okay? So this is, even though I had to move a paragraph up, you can see that it's placed perfectly. So when they tore it apart, they just jumbled it up and then put words they wanted around these words here. But those are the words that I truly believe came from the first writers of these words. This is the first. I mean, I don't know how old these are, because there's nothing in here to really, well, one, they had to know about Jesus, so we know it's after David's time. Now, if he's testifying to the people, it doesn't say how evil they become. But we know when after our Creator divided the two nations together, there wasn't many prophets that I can find on the Israeli side from the text. But this has to come from a prophet from Judah, and he's probably proclaiming it in Judah. So that's the best I can do, is saying this is the time and place or whatever. Let me pull this over here.